Here's how you're handling conflict wrong and how to fix it. I've identified 3 toxic patterns that are relationship killers, and I bet you're using at least one of them. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine getting a text that reads, "Hey, your work today actually wasn't that terrible." What's your first reaction? If you're like most people, your mind just explodes with questions, assumptions, maybe a hint of anger. That right there, that's exactly what we need to discuss. I'm going to show you why these reactions are causing more damage than you realize. Your work today actually wasn't terrible. Let's freeze right there. In the split second after reading that text, your brain just became a fortune teller. You're not just reading words anymore. You're reading minds. They must think I'm usually terrible. They're trying to undermine me. They've never respected me. Here's the wild part. This mental fortune telling is so automatic, you probably didn't even notice it happening. But this split-second assumption can poison a relationship before you even finish reading the message. Ah, yes, I see your coworker's true intentions. They've always hated your work. They're plotting against you. Wait, what's this? Oh, turns out they were just awkwardly trying to give you a compliment about your improvement. Oops. When you catch yourself playing fortune teller, ask one simple question. What are the facts? Not your interpretations, the actual observable facts. In our example, someone sent a text about your work. That's it. That's all we know for sure. Everything else? That's just your inner fortune teller getting creative. Picture a light switch. It's either on or off, right? No dimmer, no in between. This is exactly how we handle conflict when we're doing it wrong. Picture this. Your roommate leaves dirty dishes in the sink. Normal brain, that's annoying. Light switch brain, this entire living situation's ruined. They're the worst roommate in history. Perfect roommate, horrible monster. Best friend, mortal enemy. See how exhausting that is? Real relationships aren't light switches. They're more like the weather, with sunny days, cloudy moments, and everything in between. First, when you catch yourself flipping that switch, add this phrase. Right now, your roommate isn't a horrible person. They're just being inconsiderate. Your relationship isn't ruined. It's just experiencing tension. But here's the real power move. Learning to reframe these all or nothing thoughts. Let me show you how. Instead of, "She never cleans up after herself," you can reframe it to, "The dishes have been an issue lately and we should talk about it." Instead of, "This living situation is completely unbearable," reframe it to, "This specific habit is frustrating, but our living arrangement works in many other ways." Instead of, "She has zero respect for me," reframe it to, "We might have different standards for cleanliness, and that's something we can discuss." See what we're doing? We're replacing the harsh on-off switch with a dimmer, one that can handle all the messy in-betweens of real relationships. Each reframe gives you room to acknowledge both the problem and the possibility of solution. You know that passive-aggressive smiley face you send when you're actually furious? Yeah, that one. The one that looks innocent but is carrying a tiny emotional dagger? Well, let's talk about it. Whatever you want, no worries, I'll just do it myself. Must be nice to be too busy to respond. Each of these texts is like a tiny landmine we're planting in our relationships. Sure, they give us that moment of satisfaction. Ha, that'll show him. But here's what actually happens. They get defensive, you stay angry, nothing gets solved. And bonus, you both feel worse. Let's upgrade your communication in 2 steps. Step 1 is what I call replace the emoji challenge. Before sending that passive-aggressive text, replace a smiley face with actual feelings. Instead of, "Guess you're too busy for me," try, "I feel hurt that I haven't heard back from you." Step 2 is where the magic happens, transforming that raw feeling into direct, respectful communication. Watch how this works. First, here's how it might come out when we're feeling passive-aggressive. "Guess you're too busy for me." Behind that passive-aggressive comment is usually a raw feeling. "I feel hurt that I haven't heard back." Now, here's how we can communicate the same message directly and respectfully. "Hey, I was looking forward to movie night and haven't heard back from you. Could we talk about what's going on?" This leads us to our formula for direct, respectful communication. There are 3 key elements. Name the specific situation, haven't heard back about movie night, express your feelings without accusations, I was looking forward to it and feel disappointed, make a clear, respectful request, could we talk about what's going on? Let's try another one. The passive-aggressive response, don't worry about it. Clearly, you have better things to do. The actual feeling, I feel ignored and unimportant. The direct and respectful response. When I don't get a response, I start feeling worried. Could you let me know if plans have changed? Even if you're busy. Notice how direct communication addresses the specific issue without generalizing, expresses feelings without attacking, opens the door for dialogue, assumes good intentions while setting clear expectations. Think of it like replacing your emoji dagger with an actual conversation starter. Sure, feels more vulnerable at first, but it's the difference between putting a band-aid on a relationship and actually healing it. Here's the thing about these 3 signs. They're not character flaws. They're survival skills that have overstayed their welcome. Your brain developed these patterns to protect you, but now they're like an overprotective parent who won't let you cross the street alone at age 30. The next time you catch yourself, fortune telling, light switch flipping, or emoji assassinating, remember, you're not doing conflict wrong. You're just using tools that need an upgrade. And the simple act of noticing these patterns, that's already the biggest step toward changing them. Before I go, here's an unexpected truth. The goal isn't to never do these things. The goal is to catch yourself faster each time. It's like having a clumsy pet. You can't stop them from knocking things over, but you can get better at catching the vase before it breaks. If this helped you spot some of your own patterns, hit subscribe and join me next week when we discuss the hidden costs of not setting boundaries. And hey, drop a comment sharing your favorite passive-aggressive emoji. Let's turn those tiny daggers into something we can laugh about.